rivers, lakes, and oceans are great places to enjoy outdoor activities. Water sports like paddleboarding, surfing, and sailing are an excellent way of keeping fit. And they also give us a chance to get closer to some of the amazing wildlife that lives under the waves. While you probably don't want to spot a shark while you are surfing, seeing dolphins swimming next to your boat while you are sailing can be a magical experience. Our oceans are home to an enormous variety of marine life, plants and animals that live in the sea. Under the surface of the water is a hidden world that very few people ever see. Experts have identified around 250,000 different marine species so far. But they don't know exactly how many more plants and animals live in the oceans. For most of us, the closest we can get to this world is a trip to an aquarium. We can see a few of the amazing species of marine life behind thick glass. We are safe from the dangerous sharks, and we can enjoy watching the colourful fish. But we don't really get to experience these creatures in their natural habitat. You can try snorkeling to get a bit closer to marine life, but to really experience this hidden world, you have to go scuba diving. Scuba diving is a popular holiday activity among adventure lovers. It's an excellent way to explore the colourful sea life, underwater caves, and even shipwrecks. Often, when you dive in places like Mexico, the Bahamas, or the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, you don't have to wear a wetsuit. The water is warm and clear. You can see hundreds of different kinds of tropical fish and beautiful coral. It's an amazing experience. But for some people, scuba diving is much more than a holiday activity. It's a full-time job. And the reality of this job can be very different from the experience of a holiday diver. Tom Daguerre is a professional diver and underwater photographer based in the southwest of England. Tom works with conservation charities, filming and photographing wildlife around the coast of Britain. Tom grew up with a love of the ocean.
I started surfing when I was about 10 years old. The first time I ever dived was on the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I've dived all over the world, from the Caribbean to South Africa to Australia to all over Europe. And in all these different places I've seen many different forms of marine life.
Being an underwater photographer is a challenging job. Scuba diving can be a dangerous activity if you're not careful. High waves, dangerous sea life, water pressure changes, and faulty equipment are some of the dangers scuba divers might face underwater. Tom has trained for his job for many years, but he still has to do a lot of preparation before he gets into the water.
Fitness is really important as a diver. It's important to be in good shape. Diving in itself, scuba diving in itself, is quite a dangerous occupation. However, if you're trained properly, then you can usually avoid most of the problems that you encounter. Every time we dive, we have to make sure we're safe. We have to make sure we're properly prepared.
Today, Tom is filming a dive with a conservation charity in an area known as the Manacles. Tom started preparing for this dive yesterday. He has a lot of special filming equipment, and he doesn't want any water to get into the cameras. Assembling the cameras so they are waterproof is a very special skill. Tom must check all of his diving equipment very carefully before every dive. If his equipment stops working, he could die. The group travelled to the Manacles on a small boat. Unfortunately, the weather isn't very good today. All the divers have to wear thick dry suits to protect them from the cold sea temperatures. The suits cover their heads, and they wear special shoes and gloves too. Before they get into the water, the divers must check their equipment one last time. When they are ready to go, the divers have to fall backwards into the water from the boat. If they jumped into the water, their masks could come off. In the water, Tom descends slowly. He can't see very far under the water today. He has to use lights to see the wildlife in the darkness. Once he's at the bottom, Tom doesn't swim around much. He stays in one place and starts filming. Divers can't stay under the water for very long. They mustn't run out of air. When the divers are under the water, the people on the surface can't see them. So when the diver is ready to come back to the boat, they have to send up a special marker. This is also known as a safety sausage. The marker is bright orange. It floats to the surface so that the boat can find the diver. Divers must come to the surface slowly. Coming up to the surface too quickly can make a diver very sick. Tom photographed some interesting marine wildlife on the dive today. The conservation charity will use these images in their work to protect this special area.
It's really important to be able to film and document marine life in the UK and across the world to raise awareness. This we do by showing images of creatures that people may not have seen before.
Tom is doing a job that he enjoys, and he is helping to protect the hidden underwater world. And even though his job can be dangerous, he wouldn't want to do anything else.